Welcome to the Ethereum Predictions based on the astrology of Ethereum, and none of this is financial or investment advice. I'm Jack, I'm an engineer gone crypto astrologer. I combine technical analysis with astrology. Beware of the spam bots in the comments below, ignore those, and watch this video to the end to get the Ethereum predictions. Smash the like button if you haven't already. And we have currently the astrology, we still have a grand trine loosely with Pluto, Neptune, Uranus still making very nice sextiles and trines to each other. Pluto bringing transformation, Neptune bringing higher spiritual connection, and Uranus bringing this new technology of crypto, the blockchain, and artificial intelligence. Some people say technological intelligence, actually. October 1st, we have Mercury squaring Jupiter. Slight negative, but October 7th we have Venus. This is the general astrology where the planets are in the sky right now, or actually where the planets are in the sky through October, not necessarily the Ethereum astrology. But October 7th we had Venus sextiling Jupiter. That's nice. Venus, the planet of money, with Jupiter, the planet of expansion. We will take that. October 8th, Uranus is sextiling Neptune, bringing that technological energy as well as our independence energy, making that positive sextile to Neptune, higher spiritual connection. That's very nice. October 10th, we have Venus opposing Saturn. So we could even have a correction around October 10th. It's certainly possible. Venus, the planet of money, what we value, opposing Saturn, which can bring tough lessons in reality. That could be a quick gut check. October 13th, we have Venus trining Uranus. That's very nice. Venus, the planet of money, what we value, trining Uranus, the planet of money, planet of technology. That's very nice. At the same time, we get Venus opposing Neptune, slight negative. October 16th, we have the Sun squaring Jupiter. It could be a time not to be overly optimistic, maybe particularly with altcoins. We'll see. That's a minor negative, though. I wouldn't get too worried about it. October 20th, we have Mercury conjunct Mars. Could bring an explosive move. October 22nd, Neptune retrogrades to 29 degrees Pisces. That's the energetic degree. That'll be a time to reflect on the past once again. That's really interesting. That could bring some euphoria and some confusion into the markets. So either markets are doing really well and we're getting euphoria, or markets could have a shift in the opposite direction. We'll see. It really depends on what happens in the next couple of weeks here, heading into that Neptune retrograde into Pisces. Mercury is then going to trine Jupiter. That's really nice. That could bring more expansion. Mercury is going to trine Saturn, which could bring slow and steady growth with positive trades. Mercury is the planet of trade. October 28th, Mars is trining Saturn, and Mars is trining Jupiter. That's really nice. That could bring more positive momentum, bigger moves. Mars can bring explosive moves around October 28th. And we have Mercury trining Neptune at the same time, bringing that spiritual oneness energy with our trades. So trusting our intuition around October 28th. Really, really, really good energy on that day. That's very interesting. We have a slight negative, Mercury opposing Uranus. A quick gut check before the end of the month, and then Mercury sextiling Pluto. That's quite positive, bringing in that powerful energy. Overall, man, October is looking really good. It's particularly like the final week of October. Looks like it could be explosive. We'll see what happens. The Ethereum astrology, we have Uranus squaring the Ethereum Venus. That's just an orb. That's a minor negative. Nothing to worry about. October 15th, we have Jupiter conjunct the Ethereum Mars. Jupiter brings expansion into Mars, which can bring an explosive move. That's looking really good. October 23rd, we have Uranus, the planet of technology, sextiling the Ethereum, progressing Mars. Very similar energy there, which can bring more moves up, possibly. October 23rd, same day, we have Saturn sextiling the Ethereum moon, which can bring more positive, slow and steady growth. So we could see higher highs for Ethereum by October 23rd, maybe even a new all-time high by then, this month. Very, very interesting. But October, when I looked at the BlackRock ETF astrology, we have October 2nd, Jupiter is sextiling the BlackRock ETF. Oh, actually, no, that's the Grayscale Ethereum Trust, I think. That's positive on the 2nd. Slight negative on the 11th. Saturn squaring the EETH Mars. Slight negative there. October 29th, Saturn is conjunct the EETH Neptune. That's negative. That's a negative for the grayscale Ethereum trust, I believe, which I believe they converted into an ETF. So that's interesting that gets a slight negative on the 29th. For the Ethereum BlackRock ETF astrology, we have October 2nd, Uranus, the planet of technology, sextiling the ETHA sun. That's very good. And we're already getting a nice breakout with Ethereum starting in the first few days of October. October 11th, we get Jupiter squaring the ETHA Chiron. Slight negative there. But then October 15th, we have Uranus trining the ETHA Pluto, which could bring a bigger explosive move up, possibly. October 17th, we have Saturn sextiling the ETHA Uranus, bringing some more slow and steady growth. That looks pretty good overall. So let's look at the charts as well. Here's the Ethereum chart, and so far we've gotten a big move up for the first week of the month, and yeah, I mean, overall it's looking like we could have more upside. We shall see. Let's take a look at where it is right now. Let's zoom out. What's going on? And, you know, if we take a Fibonacci from the peak down to the low of 25th of September, we have the 50% level at 4,390. So we're sitting above that, which is really good. We're also sitting above this blue trend line, which goes back to the peak of July 28th and hits these lows here in September, August and September. And we're sitting barely above that right now. We do need to get above 4,700 pretty quickly to then test the all-time highs once again. So that's looking very good overall. The weekly close is looking good. The monthly close from last month, let's see here. Monthly close. Okay, yeah, we were a bit in the red in September. That happens, but October is looking much better so far. Not so bad. We look at the Ethereum versus Bitcoin. You know, we had a correction in September. Let's see if October, I think in October, we'll see if we can get in the green and then continue that for November, December. One interesting thing is for the Bitcoin dominance, we are starting to show some strength with the Bitcoin dominance where if we zoom out here, we have just poked above these levels here. If we zoom in, this yellow blocks was a lot of liquidity gap here. We hit the bottom perfectly. Now we're heading back up, and we are just poking above this previous high here at 59.24. We are poking above that. So there is a possibility that the Bitcoin dominance could actually break out in October, because historically it's the most bullish month for the Bitcoin dominance is October. So that's tricky. Either Bitcoin goes up a lot and altcoins kind of stall out a little bit and maybe Ethereum stalls out. Or the worst case scenario, Bitcoin dumps and then the altcoins dump a lot harder than Bitcoin. But in terms of Ethereum, overall, the astrology looks pretty good. The chart setup looks very strong. So I'm thinking we could have a green October. We're getting a very, very good start so far. We could easily have a bit of a correction at some point, or maybe it stalls out and trades sideways for a while. That's certainly possible. And there's also a possibility, Bitcoin could go up while Ethereum stalls out a little bit. But overall, it looks quite good. Astrology looks pretty good. We look at the Ethereum monthly returns, and now we're in October. We got red in September. In the past, let's see, 2021. Yeah, even 2021 in the massive bull market, we had a red September, but we moved into a very strong October, extremely strong. So far, we've already gotten 9% up in October, so that's really, really great start. And overall, October is a positive month for Ethereum. If you look on the bottom, we have the average of 7% up. So that's very good. And it just kind of brings in more probability that we will have a green October for Ethereum. This is a very interesting chart. This is this new cyclical indicator, and it shows, let's see, it's kind of tricky to see, but here, in October, it shows a little bit up. So there's a chance that Ethereum might not perform as well as Bitcoin. It's possible. But if Bitcoin goes up a lot, then Ethereum could also go up a lot, but just maybe not as much as Bitcoin, especially with the Bitcoin dominance going up. So that's really interesting to look at there. The big concern is the huge, massive drop-off in possibly December, maybe even November. So that's a really interesting, surprising. That is a concern, actually, at least for the end of the year. But in the meantime, we could have a bit more upside. Subscribe if you haven't already to receive critical crypto and astrology updates. Quick announcement to join the Crypto Astro Mastermind. I can show you guys really quick. You sign up with the link below. You can get access to all of these incredible things, a Q&A with me, technical analysis with astrology, Bitcoin astrology 2025 overview, access to previous monthly call recordings where I dive into all of the Bitcoin astrology, altcoins astrology, altcoin picks. I gave some really, really good calls for Solana that have played out. I did call a correction for Solana in my last monthly call, and we have gotten that correction. And so this is typically, easily $5,000 value. Only $9.97, but if you use the coupon code below, you can get a heck of a deal. And if that coupon code is still available, I believe we have 3 spots left for this month, then you can get an incredible deal. I believe it's 50% off for this incredible mastermind, and it's lifetime access. And you can look at all these incredible testimonials that I've gotten in the past couple years. Things are going really well. Just read through this, click the sign up now button, and then it takes you down here. For the full pay, when you go to that page, you scroll all the way to the bottom of the page. Look at all of the bonuses that you get. You can even check out with crypto if you want to. I know I've had people in the past do that. But you type the coupon code, let's see if it's still available here, to the moon. Then you click that little check mark, and you get crazy, amazing savings. And by the way, it's lifetime access. It's not a monthly payment. You get lifetime access. So I don't know how to give you a more incredible, more value-packed deal than this. So definitely check that out via the link below. And going to the presentation, the Ethereum predictions is Ethereum is likely to have higher prices in October, especially with this strong start that we've had. Maybe some sideways consolidation, maybe a little correction. It's certainly possible. And perhaps even a new all-time high in October, especially around that October 23rd date was looking really good. I believe the 28th was also looking really good. So if we don't get an all-time high by October, I think it could happen in November. So that's looking really, really good for Ethereum overall. Share this video with a friend or family member who values everything I've been talking about with the technical analysis and the astrology, amazing combination, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace.